Okay, this is Timeline 1999, or should I say Chapter 2, Timeline 1999. This is being recorded. The book is written by Queen Proselyte Valerie Owens, also known as Valerie Venice Preston. Okay, the first arch point, or I should say one act, it became even more popular at both Taco Bell and Burger King. 2 act, I ended my pen pal relationship with Charles Blasingame. 3, our income increased on both jobs, or my income increased on both jobs. I saved a lot of money. I saved a lot more money from my increased income. That's 4 at. 5 at, I invested some of my money. 6 at, I lived in a mobile home park. 7 at, I put dreadlocks in my hair, or I twist my hair into that. 8 at, bicycle was spy bugged. 9 at, dispute with neighbor over loud music. 10 at, because I was a customer service sensation. My Christian supervisor friend, Corinthia Wright, asked Brian Vaughn if he would buy me a $2,000 car. He agreed. 11 at, I overheard my Burger King supervisors talking about Brian Vaughn and his cop friends had my bicycle bugged and was broadcasting me talking all over town. And how wrong that was at the time. And 12 at, I overheard one of my Burger King supervisors warning an employee named Janice not to cross Brian Vaughn because he was a powerful man and could ruin her life everywhere. 13 at, Brian Vaughn told a Burger King supervisor that he made a so-and-so amount of money off of the unauthorized Burger King commercial of my name, along with the Steve Winwood song Valerie. 14 at, it was secretly said that Brian Vaughn and a Burger King supervisor argued over him not keeping his promise concerning the $2,000 car and the other unauthorized things he done concerning me. Okay, I've just read a lot of the arch points, and I will elaborate on them as facts, or should I say essential. I will use the essential terms of use. Allegation of facts, allegation of burden of proof, okay, secret reports of facts, and secret messages of facts. Okay, these things that I am talking about in this book is true to the best of my ability that God has given me and that God has revealed to me. So, and these things can also be proven by a enormous amount of witnesses everywhere. Definitely within the timeline of this year, people where I lived in this the state of Georgia, and this college town that this got started in. Some of those people are still alive and they're witnesses. Some of them have physical evidence on a lot of this stuff that I'm talking about. Okay, So we're not just making stuff up, okay? This is the oracles of my life, my earlier life when I was in my 20s. I was about 26 at this time that a lot of this stuff happened. I was 25 or turning 26, either way. So now I want to elaborate on some things. I did work at Taco Bell and Burger King in this timeline of 1999. And for some reason, I ended my pen pal relationship with this inmate, Charles Blasingame, because I had some kind of feeling like he was keeping something from me. Don't know. I have become closer to God than I was in my 20s. My spiritual gifts have elevated through the years. But even at that time, God was still talking to me in my download. But I think I was not able to really look a lot deeper than I do now. Okay? So, for whatever reason, I did end my pen pal relationship with Charles Blasingame in this year. Okay, 1999 timeline. And my income did increase. And it's very important for me to say that, so that way everybody knows where I got my money. And I got it honest. And I did not steal. I didn't cheat. I did not do anything illegal to obtain my money. I worked 2 full-time jobs. Okay? And I have to say this, I was very frugal. I did not have a car. I did not have cable. I ate very healthy, just like I do now. Probably more, but, I saved a lot of money. And I just worked all the time. I didn't get in no trouble. My record was clean. So, I'm just making that very, very clear. And this man in prison did not give me no drug money. There's no way he could have done it. Okay? We can physically prove that he did not. Okay? And especially based off of the illegality of my bicycle being bugged and me being recorded talking just like I'm talking right now and being broadcast everywhere. So, and I had people watching me secretly. I had blood relatives that lived in that town. Some of them were part of the city of Douglas, of the council. Okay? So, there's no way that he could get out of maximum security prison. And I'm telling y'all where it come from. It came from John Sweat's crew, okay? Brian Bond's payroll cop friends that made all this stuff up, okay? Along with, they was able to get Newton County to come in on their little organized crime little thing that they had going. Okay, so these are facts that we're telling you in this book. Okay, so we're talking about the arch points in the timeline of 1999. Okay, I invested some of my money, and the way I invested was, my favorite one was the U.S. saving bonds. Okay, that's how I invested a lot of my money. I may have invested some of my money in saving bonds starting in timeline 2000, but definitely, if as far as I can remember, I know that I started investing in U.S. savings bonds. I definitely saved my money. I had a deposit box, a savings deposit box, and I would put my money in there because it wouldn't save. I would put cash money and uncashed checks. I would put them in that safe deposit box at a local bank within the city of Douglas, because it wouldn't save for me to have that money in my home, because I lived in a trailer park. Okay, and Okay, I did a lot of things during that year. I'm gonna try to stay on the course so that everybody can understand in the early years how this stuff got started, how this stuff, this mess that y'all see today, that's all over the media, how it really got started. Okay, and who got it started. Okay, I'm not going to touch on all of the arch points, only the ones that relate to this, really relate to this operation that is being illegally done on me right now. I'm just getting y'all to understand how my character was at that time, and the people surrounding me, how they felt about me at that time before this broke out. Because I was very popular and with customer service, and I went above and beyond the call of duty. Maybe just because I was a good person, and because I was saved, and because I was a Christian. My Christian supervisor, she was also my friend, my colleague at Wendy's Old Fashioned Hamburgers, Corinthia Wright. She asked Brian Vaughn if he would buy me a $2,000 car. That was coming out of her heart. It did not initiate with me. I didn't have no thought to ask Brian for no car. I wasn't even thinking about a vehicle at that time. I was thinking more along me saving money and buying me a home and some land, you know, so that way I can be more stabilized, you know, and moving forward with my life, you know, because I was 25. This time I was 26 in 1999. I had just had a birthday in that December of 1998. So I think I was 26. But anyway, yes, I did hear some Burger King supervisors. I may have talked about it in Timeline 98, but this actually went down in 1999. I heard this right here, that I overheard right in the lobby. You know, Burger King supervisors were talking about how wrong Brian Vaughn and his cop friends, what they did, you know. And I just want this, like I said in Timeline 98, I did not give Brian Vaughn and his cop friends permission to put no bug on my bicycle. Okay, I just want that to be known. I want my family, friends, and everybody that supported me, I just want y'all to know I did not give Brian permission. I did not make a contract with him. I did not make a deal with him. He was not paying me no money except for that $7 an hour for that customer service specialist position. That was it. Okay. Now, that was it. Now, somewhere in this year, it may be Timeline 2000, but it has been reported secretly that Brian Vaughn was secretly trying to get me fired, to get rid of me, because he was afraid, according to Max Lockwood, the mayor at the time, that I was a spy for Mrs. Stafford that owned the Wendy's Old Fashioned Hamburgers as a franchisee. Okay. He had a lot of insidious tactics of how he could get rid of me. And one of them is that during that year, something happened to my cash register, maybe once or twice, to make my register be over $100. And under his policy, if he wanted to get rid of you, that's one way. To fire you, to get rid of you, is to, if your register came over $100 or more, you could be terminated. And so I was very on point with my money. I went by the rules. very strategically. And so it was reported that some kind of way Brian did something electronically to that cash register. Now, my manager counted that money, and she told me, she said, if I have to take money out of my own pocket, you ain't gonna lose your job. I think I remember her telling me that. It was either her or it was my other supervisor. You're not gonna lose your job if I have to take money out of my pocket, out of my bank account, and pay for your register. I will do it. And I told her I'll pay it. I'll come out of my pocket and their page, and I'll pay you back. I think that's what I might have told her. But Brian Vaughn was behind that. Okay? He did a lot of little insidious stuff. But I know that I want to stick to the facts in this, but I will interject a little bit of my opinion. I do feel that if Brian Vaughn really felt that I was a threat to his company, at the jump, he should have just told me he felt that way, and that because I worked at Wendy's for so long. I worked at Wendy's Old Fashioned Hamburgers for almost 7 years. Okay, so when I left Wendy's and went there, I guess he felt some type of way that I was hired by Mr. Stafford to spy on his business. But if he really felt that way, then why not just tell me, I'm going to have to let you go because, some nice way. That would have, I'm going to tell you, that would have saved all of us and millions of people a lot of trouble if he would have done that. Because right now, my life would probably be different. I probably would have moved to Ohio with my auntie and be there right now. If Brian Vaughn would have been honest about how he really felt about me working for his company, instead of going to these great extremes, okay, and doing all this illegal stuff to the point where it's coming out. It's coming out. And ultimately, he's not going to get away with it. I don't care how many connections he have, how many friends he got, and supporters. Because ultimately, he's going to be dealt with by God Almighty. Because we can't escape our record. Nobody can. Nobody. We all got a record we're going to report to God for. So divinity-wise, he's not going to escape judgment. Okay? There's no way. And hopefully, legally, he's not going to escape either. So, and I go back to the essential terms of use, the allegation of facts, and the allegation of burden of proof, and the secret reports of facts, and the secret messages of facts. So that way, we know where we are as we are recording this book right here. Okay, so I just want y'all to know, and I want Brian Vaughn to know, that I did not put Corinthia up to asking him for a $2,000 car. I wasn't even thinking about buying a car at the time. Okay, because at the time, cars was a little expensive. My focus were mainly on buying me a home, working my 2 jobs, saving my money, and buying me a house and a lot, or something like that, a starter home or double wide trailer and put it on a lot that's paid, my lot that I paid for, piece of land, put it on there. I got that. Okay, I got that under my belt. I got something to fall back on, and I'll get out of the trailer park that I was living in, and I'll be in a better neighborhood, and then I can go to college again and further my career or whatever I was trying to do on my own business. Because I was getting older. I was in my 20s, but I'm also looking at when I get in my 30s, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And, you know, at least I have my own home. I was looking, that's what my mindset was at that time when I was 25 or 26. Okay? Now, I'm just letting Brian know that I did not put Corinthia up to Brian asking you for, or asking him for a $2,000 car. Okay? That was what she was thinking to help me out when it was winter time. So that way I wouldn't be riding my bicycle, then I could get to work. And she may be also thinking about if I had a vehicle, then I could become a manager. I could move up, you know, from customer service specialist to assistant manager, shift manager, or assistant manager, second assistant manager. That's what she was thinking of, me being promoted to manager. Okay, if I had a car, because you have to have a car to take the money to the bank and whatnot. But that's her viewpoint of how she was looking for great things for me. Okay, because I was a good person, because I cared about the customers, and I was very friendly, and all of this here. Okay, so, and I've already elaborated about in Timeline 98 and here about, I overheard, you know, the supervisors talking about Brian Vaughn and his cop friends, that they were doing something secretive, and later we were told by Max Lotwood and other secret messengers that Brian Vaughn and his payroll cop friends put a bug on my bicycle, and they were broadcasting me talking all over the city, and they did this for 2 years. And even when I was pen paling that man, and I'll get to that point when Timeline 2000 coming up. Okay, I don't want to put that in Timeline 1999 for right now. And I also overheard some of my supervisors. One supervisor, her name started with an L. I may not say her whole name. She may not like that. Like, Queen or Val, why do you say that? Okay, because it caused her problems. Okay, but I will not say her name. I said Corinthia's name for a reason, but I may not say her name. Her name started with an L. She was known by that. That's what they called her. And she told Janice, which was an employee at Burger King, told her not to cross Brian Vaughn. I don't know what she done. I know some of y'all are wondering what she did. I'm not totally sure what she done. Okay, maybe she didn't agree with something that he had a rule on, and she was telling somebody something, and the supervisor overheard her. And you know, because she was a good worker as well, she was an excellent customer service. I think she was a customer service specialist too. I'm not totally sure, but I think she warned her. She said, "You better be careful, because Brian Vaughn is a powerful man, and that if you cross him the wrong way, he can ruin your life." Okay, so that's what's going on here. And now, and yeah, I did overhear Brian Bond tell my Burger King supervisor, he told Corinthia, right, that he made a lot of, I won't say a lot, but the way he told her that he made a certain amount, he wouldn't tell her exactly. He was kind of like skating around it off of the commercial, because that's the reason why she asked him for the $2,000 car. That's what some of y'all are wondering, about that. Is that, that reason why she asked him for, if he will buy on my behalf. She asked him for the $2,000 car is because all the stuff he secretly done. Okay, because he did the Steve Winwood commercial with my name in there. Okay, y'all know that Steve Winwood song, Valerie, Call on Me. That's the song that Brian Bond had. Okay, I heard it with my own ears. He really did have that commercial. Okay, where he was telling people to come by and see Valerie at Burger King. And so everybody knew who I was, because I worked at Wendy's for 7 years almost. Okay, and I was a manager there, part of the management team at Wendy's Old Fashioned Hamburgers. So a lot of people, I was very well known in that city at that time. So that's why Corinthia asked Brian for that $2,000 car. And I'm letting him also know that in this book. That's why Corinthia asked him for the $2,000 car on my behalf. I did not put her up to anything. I did not put the manager start with an L. I didn't put her up to asking Brian Bond for that raise. She did that out of her own heart. She told me one night, she says, because you are an exceptional customer service specialist or a person, and these people, they admire you a lot. I am going to personally call Brian myself right now, and I'm going to ask Brian to give you that position for customer service specialist. And that's how Brian thinks I did it. No, I didn't. Okay? Because I was not only working at Burger King, I also worked at Taco Bell too. So I had 2 jobs. But because I was an exceptional, and I also had people trying to get me into management at Taco Bell. I think they actually made me a crew leader at Taco Bell. Okay, so I got a little raise there too. So it was not like I was just all out trying to, yeah, I did have my eye on the customer service thing. Because that's why I kind of saw that. I said, wow, $7 an hour, that would help me to save my money and buy me a house. Okay? So I'm just letting Brian and everybody know in this book, I'm clearing the facts about what really happened. Okay? Now, the $2,000 car was Corinthia Wright's idea, because she is an exceptional, grandacious Christian at that time. Okay? In 1999. And we worked together at Wendy's Old Fashioned Hamburgers. Okay? And she quit there and she went there to Burger King. Now, it's been told that Brian put bug on her not bicycle, but Brian had put a bug on her cars while she was working at Burger King. And she had accidents in those cars too. Okay, I'm not going to get into that, but I will talk about, because this book is this situation that I'm under right now of how it got started. Okay, so I'm just going to talk about that. So yeah, the car and the position and the pay raise, all of that was my supervisor's idea. It came out of their heart, okay, at that time. So it was not something that I manipulated them and I put it in them, told them to ask Brian Bond to do that for me. No, that came out of their heart and their mind, okay, their soul. So because they were looking at the stuff that Brian was part of, like when he had that bug put on my bicycle and broadcasting that stuff all over the city, you know, had me talking, okay? So them people, okay, Corinthia was looking at that, like, you know, he's doing all of that, then he could probably just, maybe he don't mind buying her a car. He's making money with that Steve Winwood commercial. I think Corinthia may have asked him, you know, did he make a deal with me? Did he do a contract with me to do that? And I think he was mad about that. He was secretly mad because Corinthia had asked him, did he make a deal, a agreement, a contract with me, get my consent to broadcast me talking, like when I'm not at work? Okay, this is what they did all over the city, talking. I did not, like I said in Timeline 98, I did not give Brian permission to broadcast me talking. Okay, I did not do that. Okay, and I'm telling my family too, and other people that support me, no, Brian did not do, he did not, only money he paid me was that $7 an hour for the customer service specialist. That was it. That was it, y'all. He did not pay me no extra money. And I'm telling my certain family members, no, Brian Bond did not, okay? Now, it's alleged that he has paid a family member in Ohio, okay, that he and a lot of them other organized criminals within the government, or I say the secret government regime, paid my family member that lives in Ohio, paid her money to be a FBI informant, to spy on me, to tap my auntie's phone. Okay, he could pay money to them, okay, but when Corinthia had asked him for that $2,000 car, and she asked him, did he make an agreement with me to pay me money to do all that stuff, when she found out that he was using me and he was exploiting me, and that he did not get my consent to broadcast me talking, okay, you know, like I'm talking right now, of course, and outside of the job, even on the inside of the job, but definitely outside. And he illegally put that bug on my bicycle is what she was upset about. And she is believed that she would get in arguments on him about that, over that. Okay? this is, like I said, I'm going back to the essential facts right here. Essential terms of use, the allegation of the allegation of facts, the allegation of burden of proof, and the secret reports of facts and secret messages of facts. So we're going back to that, okay? But that's what this is how all this got started. In the city of Douglas, Georgia, Coffee County, a college town. Okay, this is what I'm letting these people know how this got started. Okay, so she thought that maybe Brian would be willing to buy the $2,000 car because he didn't make a contract with me. He didn't get my consent to broadcast me talking all over that city of Douglas, you know. He illegally put a bug on my bicycle. He also put bugs on his employees' vehicles without their knowledge. And some of them found out about it and, okay. Now, it's what you want to say organized crime at its best, because he has connections, Brian does, and all government levels, especially the media. Now, Max Lockwood says that his cop friends is what put all that stuff out, and CNN and in the other media areas. And then there were some people saying that they were doing some stuff on the black market, that they had put surveillance tapes on the black market showing me rocking. Okay, y'all, I will tell y'all this, and I hadn't really wrote this down in the timeline. I'm gonna tell y'all, and it's on some of the video surveillance tapes that they have circulating, that they have through the years, that were put out, and I guess to humiliate me and embarrass me and make people think that, you know, I have a handicap, that I'm retarded or something like that. I used to rock when I was little. Okay, this is raw, true facts. Perhaps maybe because when we were going to school and we had to get vaccination shots, and some people that got those shots, it affected their nerves or their nervous system some kind of way. But it had some kind of side effect on them. And for some reason, it will cause them to rock. Now, rocking is not good for you. But that was when we were little. If something had something related to an adverse reaction to the vaccination shots that we received when we were young, because you couldn't go to school if you didn't get the shots. So I remember I was rocking at an early age. I might have started rocking after I got those shots. So yes, I did rock. Okay. Even into adult years, I was rocking. But I stopped rocking too in the timeline of 2000. You see some people, and they're very intelligent, and they do that rocking like that. But it's not good for you though. I'm telling you. But you outgrow it. But I have to address that, because that was one of the videos that Brian Kopp's friends was putting out there and broadcast on CNN, and then people were laughing about it. Okay? And they did all this stuff behind my back. They'll make sure I don't see it. Okay? Because what they're doing is illegal. If you are supposed to be having me under a serious investigation, and then you see me rocking, and you say, oh, I got a good idea, I know how to get back at her, I know how to get even at her, get even with her, I'll get on CNN, I'll put this video out here, and she's a colored woman, and I don't like it because Brian Vaughn did this Steve Winwood commercial, you know, talking all this good stuff about her. She got all this, saving all this money up. A colored woman. Got a U.S. savings, a $10,000 U.S. savings bond. I don't even have that. So I'm going to destroy her life because she's a colored woman. We got ways to do it. We'll put these surveillance tapes on the CNN so everybody can see what she really is like. Okay? Now, I'm telling you the facts of how this got started, okay? Because these people were secretly listening to me talking. Just like y'all hear me now on this book right here. I'm recording this book. Timeline 99. Okay? Of the royal state of emergency. Okay? So just like that. That's how all this stuff got started. Was because these organized criminals decided to, you know, broadcast this stuff in order to benefit, in order to get ahead off of my back. They just looked at me as some kind of commodity, something to do, like Brian Bond. Oh, she's a colored woman. I can do what I want because I got white privilege. I got this privilege. I got that privilege. So I can do what I want. I can not just Valerie. That's what I was known. They call me Val for short. But after I changed my name to Queen Christolite Valerie Owens. Okay, that's what I'm known as now. But then I was known as Valerie Venice Preston. Okay. And I'm saying that because I want to put those facts out there. Because they had videotapes making that great big deal. They went out and telling people, she changed her name. She did this. She done that. So I'm saying it right now. Yes, I did change my name. And before I changed my name, a seer told my mom about me 2 years before I was born, in 1970. 2 years later, I was born in 1972. Okay? So God knew that I was going to change my name one day. And I did. Okay? So, anyway, I'm fixing to end this chapter for Timeline 1999. It was secretly said that, and I want to elaborate on this point about, it was secretly said that Brian Vaughn and a Burger King supervisor, which was Corinthia Wright, and they argued over him not keeping his promise concerning the $2,000 car and other unauthorized things he had done concerning me, and which was not just the car, but also because the reason why she asked him for if he would be willing to buy me that car is because he did the Steve Winwood commercial and was making money off of it, and he was secretly recording me talking, and him and his cop friends and maybe perhaps the whole city was in on it. And you know that Rob Smith and John Sweat, you know, John Sweat was the chief of police at that time. So his folks, okay, his people, I don't know if Jan was part of it, but she was one of the veteran detectives for a long time in Douglas, Georgia. I'm not sure if she was part of it, but we know that it was under John Sweat's team and Rob Smith. Okay, it was there under their camp. Their corrupt cops is the one that did this. Okay, they think they won't get caught and that they won't be held accountable for what their role they played with this right here. Okay, so these are what happened in this timeline, y'all. I ended my relationship with the pen pal relationship with Charles Blasingame. I ended it, and I saved a lot of money that year. I worked 2 jobs, and you know, the same thing, a little bit of what the timeline 1998, but definitely 1999. I had a lot of income coming in from them 2 jobs, and it's possible I started getting U.S. saving bonds, and they were listening in and broadcasted all over the city. That's the reason why I start seeing people start changing on me, start behaving differently, like acting weird, you know, like, because money will make people turn a certain way against you. So you can't be taking a colored person, especially if you live in the South, you know, or the West, and you just telling people, hey, look, this colored woman has got all this money and this and that. She saved a whole lot of money. You don't do that, because then you're setting me up for a life-threatening situation. Okay, I'm going to have secret enemies, okay, I don't know about, and then I'm going to have people take an unfair advantage of me financially, okay, because you're sitting there telling them I'm saving all this money and all this kind of stuff. Okay, you're going to, even in the South, you even have your own race turning against you, your own family, even Christians. So you never ever divulge how much money or success that you have as a colored person. You never do that, because you will put them in a disadvantaged position. So this is why I've stayed long on these 2 timelines, because I want the whole world and the universe to know what really, really genuinely happened, how this became a huge mess worldwide. Okay, it's because of these corrupt business people, okay, law enforcement, and the secret society people, and government regime, secret government regime. Okay, this is how this got started. That's why I want y'all to know. Okay, and I know that some of y'all may say that maybe he should have given you. Well, you know what? Now that I've started driving, I don't know if that would have been a good idea. What I know about Brian right now, as I'm recording this book, I'm glad that he did not buy me a $2,000 car. Okay? Because it probably would have put my life in jeopardy. Okay? God may have had to open up the gates of heaven and send all the angels down. Because you can't trust somebody like Brian. Okay? Knowing what we know about him. If he put a bug on my bicycle secretly and I don't know about it, if I piss him off and make him angry, what do you think? And he's got his payroll cop friends paying them to put the bug on the bicycle. If he gets mad at me, what you think? Okay, he could potentially cause me to have a car crash using those corrupt government. You see, it's a blessing for him not to buy me the $2,000 car. I don't want nothing from Brian. Even if there's lawsuits filed on my behalf, I would rather for that money to go in a trust fund for victims like me. Okay, create scholarships to help people better their lives. I don't want none of the money personally. Okay, I think that he should fall up under the seize all assets judgment. Okay? I think Brian Bond should fall right up under that. Seize all assets judgment is something that we want to engineer for the future under laws, okay, as punishment for people that hold the highest government positions. It's designed definitely for those type of people to have all of their assets seized and taken, and their future assets, because they're greedy, they're corrupt, and they are always taking from other people that work hard to get where they are. Okay? And that is a fair and fitting future judgment for these type of people, or should I say monsters. Okay? Now, that's going to end this book, not the book, but it's going to end the timeline 1999 for today. But I will say this before I end timeline 1999. I had some people that secretly knew what was happening to me, and they couldn't tell me. They were scared. And one of them was a deaconess of my church that I was a member of. And I saw it in her eyes. And it was before she died. She died that same year, this timeline right here, December. Right after I talked to her, about a week or two later, they found her dead. I think, or she died in the hospital or something. But she told me I think she knew she was going to die. I saw it in her eyes that she wanted to tell me something, but she couldn't. Because I knew she thought about her family, and she didn't want nothing to happen to her family. And she looked me in my eyes and she says, and I was just talking to her like I normally talk to her. I said, you can live to be 100. And she says, Valoria, we're not going to have that long. It's not going to be that long. It ain't going to be no 100 years. And do y'all know, in 1999, that was 20-something years ago, when this lady told me that. And I was at least about 20, I think I had turned 27 that year. And y'all see how old I am right now? 51. I'm fitting to turn 52. Okay? So she said it. I saw the look in her eyes. They told them they can't tell, or they threatened them or something. I don't know what they did, but at that time, in that year, 1999, I saw it in her eyes, but I didn't know exactly what it was. You know, she wanted to tell me, but she was probably afraid for her family. You know, that they may try to harm Don and all of them. You know, that was her family. She talked about Don or her son all the time, you know. But anyway, oh Lord. This is going to be the end of this timeline 1999, but I wanted to talk about, you know, the money, especially the money that they were talking about through the years, that it was making up lies and saying that, you know, this man in prison gave me this drug money and all this kind of stuff, which never happened, because as y'all see them doing what they're doing now, that's what they did in this timeline right here. They were secretly, they had me under house arrest. They illegally had me in some type of prison. Okay, that's what that is. When the stuff they were doing, they were started off real insidiously slow, but until they used the pen pal thing to craft their evil agenda. Okay, as I told y'all, in this year here, I stopped writing Brian in 1999. Briefly, for about several months, I stopped writing him. Okay, so, and they were following me everywhere and still recording stuff and broadcasting it out. Now, the no knock warrant, all that stuff, we will get to in the next timeline. Will be timeline 2000, and then we will bust it wide open, so for all of y'all to see exactly, pinpoint how this really genuinely got started. So for this timeline 1999, I will be signing off, because I know it's going to be like, for this book, it's going to be a little bit more of what I normally talk about. But it's very critical for me to talk about this timeline, because, you know, this is the window that I've been talking about, especially timeline 98. That 2-month window when Brian did all of that. Okay, and what was their motive for doing all of this? Then simply just coming to me and saying, Val, you're a good person, and I saw you or know of you, and we don't want to see nothing bad happen to you. We don't want to see your life ruined. This man you're writing in prison is not who you think he is. You need to stop writing him immediately. Okay, because he done this, he done that, he committed murder. Okay, I did not know he did any of that. He did not say anything. I would ask him, and through the letters, I asked him, why was he really in prison? And he would tell me it was just for that he was framed, that he was set up, and yeah, he did talk about some drug money or something like that. But, you know, as time went on, we found out differently, that this man was no good. He was really a monster. He committed murder. He really did, okay? He really committed murder. But these people didn't tell me that, okay? It's because the reason why they hid behind this pen pal thing is to cover up all of the illegality of things that they done. Like Brian putting that bug, and his cop friends illegally put that bug on my bicycle and was broadcasting me talking in my private life, you know, for, 2 years. So they want to use the the Charles Blasingame pen pal thing as a ruse, as a cover-up. So that is how all this stuff got started, okay? To cover up their wrongdoing, okay? That's basically, and it stopped me, to keep me from fighting for my rights, okay? And have everybody just lying about it. Oh, don't tell her. If you do, you'll be obstructing justice, and this and that and the other. They had to have something that they could keep everybody from coming out and saying, Val, some people did tell me earlier on in 2000. I'll get to that. But for right now, we will be signing off for this timeline of 1999.